Hey everybody, here at DXUN, and we'll be talking about the Arms Warrior and what I think is going to be one pretty interesting spec to look for. It may not be yielding the best results, but it does give you the biggest crits that I've ever seen for a warrior. In Legion anyway. So what I go with is overpowered top. Again, if I was leveling up, I go with Sweeping Strike because it will hit 2 targets, so which will be Among Us for a leveling build. I guess that would be better. But again, if you're not leveling, I would go with Overpower. Then with this one doesn't really matter. It's just situational. If you prefer having a stun for AOE purposes and stuff, where you don't take that much damage, you can go with Shockwave. If not, a single target stun that has a decent amount of damage and doesn't cost any rage. Or if you just want to go from pole to pole without having to wait for your charge because you kill shit too fast, which is more likely going to be the case with this build, then you probably want to get double time. Here Ren is doing a pretty good amount of damage, but with this build it's all about hitting those hard crits on Mortal Strike, so I went with Avatar instead. Again, I can see Ren being very good, but probably not also in a leveling kind of mindset. I wouldn't go with Ren. Here, second win, bar none for leveling. Here I use Mortal Combo, but again, if depending on how things go, but again, if you are not taking Sweeping Strike, I would probably go with In for the Kill, which gives you 40 more rage every time you Mortal Strike against a target that are below 20% health. So gives you a little bit more rage near the end and keeps you going, because again, it's a rage and starve kind of build, but again, once you get the right stuff and do it properly, you can get like easily with this gear, the shit gear that I have, you can get like 900k crit on Mortal Strike. With like Avatar and everything up, you can get, I'm sure I haven't done enough yet, but we'll see. I think I can probably hit the 1 mil. Again, very good damage for Mortal Strike on the first Mortal Strike of the 2 if you use Mortal Combo. Focus Rage, obviously, if you're gonna do this and have big crits, you gotta have Focus Rage. If you don't, Trauma accounts for about 7% of the damage, but Focus Rage will make Mortal Strike be like ridiculously much better. Let me just give you an idea here. When I don't use it, when I don't use Focus Strike, Focus Rage, sorry, my Mortal Strike is about 30% of my damage, and when I go with it, it goes to 45 to 50% of the damage. So again, it's massive. It goes from being like second to first, and it basically drops everybody else in the dust. So again, pretty darn good. The other thing is, I figured out that Opportunity Strike is kind of OP a little bit right now, because as soon as the dummy is below the 20% health mark or whatever, really low health, you hit Opportunity Strike hits a lot. Like, it just does a lot of damage for you, which is nice. It gives you like a 7 or 8% or so of my damage. So again, that good. But I prefer Anger Management, because Anger Management basically every 10 rage that I spend, I remove 1 second on the Battle Cry cooldown. Now, if you look at here, there's a talent in your weapon. It's called Corrupted Blood of Zakaj, and that is working in conjunction with Battle Cry. When you use it, your sword radiates shadowy energy, causing targets to suffer an additional 20% of all of your damage dealt over 6 seconds. So what I do is I like get my 3 stacks of Focused Rage, bang, 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 bang. So I'm gonna use a really badass freaking Mortal Strike, and then as soon as I proc my Colossus Smash, I use my my War Cry, whatever it's called, sorry, freaking Battle Cry, and then automatic crit blang. And then if I have all my other cooldowns like Avatar and all that stuff, it hits for 700k plus. Like, it really hits hard. And then after that, if I have Mortal Combo, I can use another Mortal Strike, or I can also use usually I have quite often an Overpower proc as well. So I want to use all these things while I have the Colossus Smash debuff. again, this allows me to get more battle cries. It just comes back, I think, in a roughly a 4-minute fight, you get at least an extra one. Like, it at least shaves a minute off easily. So again, it's not a bad idea, especially when everything that you want is to get those big crits on mortal strikes. The only way you can do that is well, if you want to help with that, is with anger management. And again, if you hit for 900k, there's not going to be much left of that mob anyway. So again, and I also think why I think also that is because, again, as we get more gear, more secondary stats, and also those legendaries and all that stuff, I think it's going to really make this spec a whole lot better. And in those weaker areas in between each of those big mortal strike that you can deal. So again, this is just a theory. Again, this is just what I think. Again, what we're going to do here is also, I'm going to give you a rundown of the weapon, how I think it's going to go. Let's go to this display now. But again, I showed you anger management. You know, you saw it. You know why it works so well with corrupted blood of Zakaj, because now it doubles the damage that blood of Zakaj does, which is around roughly 4%. Well, it goes to 7-8% when you actually use that in conjunction with anger management and use your focused rage as well, to just get the big crits right after you proc your battle cry and all that stuff. Use all that stuff, right? Just like I described 2 seconds ago. Again, so here we start here. We have to go this route. Why is it blue? I had it brown. Anyway, increase damage on mortal strike by 15%. Again, mortal strike is your bread and butter in this spec. Then we're going this route, and we're going to pick up slam. Increase damage, right? 15%. Slam is still a pretty decent amount of damage, even if you use overpower. If you don't use overpower, slam does more damage overall as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind, because you're going to be doing almost spam spring kind of thing. Here you have Will of the First King. Whirlwind critical strike generates an extra 5 rage. Never a bad idea. Then here we're going to pick up Exploit of the Weakness. Slam has a 6% chance to reset the cooldown of Colossus Smash, which is what all we want, is to reset that thing so we can use another big ass mortal strike on it with 3 stacks of focused rage. Then Shattered Defenses, which when you apply the Colossus Smash to a target, your next mortal strike execute will have 30% higher crit chance, which I don't care about because, again, I have 100%. But again, that's another thing to keep in mind as well, is that if you don't have it, you still have a 30% higher chance to crit on top of what you have. And then, which we have right now, is really low. So again, if we can get more crit some way, shape, or form, which makes it so that we don't need to use Battle Cry as much, then we can use the Opportunity Strike, which will increase our damage overall. So again, there's definitely some ways that we can actually make this much more viable. So again, this is the way I'm going right now. Now, if you want more AoE because you just feel a little bit weaker or whatever, and you want to level and kill a lot of mobs, you can probably go this route instead, because this here and this here is pretty good for AoE. Like you have here, your cleave increases the damage of your next whirlwind by an additional 6% per stack. So again, it's not bad. It increases your damage overall. And then this as well. This I haven't tested yet, because again, I'm working on the target dummy right now, so it doesn't really work for that. But that gives you an extra 16k shadow damage to all targets within 8 yards when you cleave 3 or more. So that would be decent. It's not like crazy amount of damage. Again, remember, this is for level 110. Then after that, right? But again, let's go back. So I'm going this way, then all this way. Then after that, I would actually go and right here. Where? There's actually a choice you can make here. You could actually go this route as well. Like afterwards, after doing all this, if you want, you can go this route to increase your AoE a little bit. And also you get this down here. Stormcar heals you for 9% of the amount of damage Mortal Strike deals. And when you deal 900k, that's like a 100k heal. That's not too terrible. It's not too great, but it's not too terrible either. And you deal Mortal Strike damage quite often, so you can heal quite a bit. But again, it's all depending on if you're struggling to heal yourself. But again, with second wind and with your victory rush, you should kill stuff so quickly that you'll get victory rush quite often, and you should be fine. Again, if you feel the urge, you can go that route. If not, then I would definitely go this route. Sorry about that. And I would pick up this guy here to increase your damage by about 8%, which is pretty good as well. Then after that, again, it's just the rest of the way, you know, and finish the rest. But again, to me, like I said at the beginning, this here's the key with the spec that I just showed you. Again, there's other specs that might be asking for something slightly different, but I don't think it'll be that much different anyway. You still want to buff your multi strike. It is your bread and butter no matter what. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and again, if you liked it, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next one later.